I'm renovating this off-grid cabin in the Morvan Nature Park in France. It's a privilege to be here, so I'm sharing the renovation and the time I spend here in nature. So last week we managed to get these two sections of plasterboard up, and this week I'm going to try and do this side. What I learned last time when I was working with Joe is that the rails have to be really square. Basically there's one every 40 centimetres and the beginning and the end one need to be 120 centimetres wide, which is the width of the plasterboard. And where we put the electrical cables in, they've all moved. So I'm having to line them all up again. That run has taken me 2 hours and I have got 3 more to do. So I think I'm going to have a quick cup of tea and enjoy the view whilst there's still a little bit of daylight. Well, it's just a deer, right? It's nothing exotic. I mean, there's tons, we see them around, sometimes driving on the edge of the road. I've never seen one here. There's always been sheep with sheepdogs, and even when the sheepdogs are not here, then there's hunting. So I literally see nothing in the field just in front of the cabin, and I'm a bit disappointed about that. When I bought it, I really hoped that I would have a bit more interaction with the wildlife, and that's why I've opened up the view into the forest a bit. So yeah, for me that was a really nice moment. It's really great to see this little creature living its life. Got a new friend, 360 laser. I've never had one. I've managed to get this far without one, but for doing the plasterboard and also tiling, things like that, I just think it's going to save me a lot of time. So I splashed out this morning and picked one up. And right now I'm using it to try and help me line up the rails in the ceiling. Seven down, 1 to go. It's really boring. Oh, it's really boring. Right, 1 to go, 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 1 to go. So I've taped all the vapour barrier everywhere, ceiling, floor, everywhere. And I'm going to try now and start to put the rails for the plasterboard for this wall. I can do it on this wall because I've already done the ceiling. I can't do the other walls until we've done the ceiling. And Joe is really busy. Anyway, I'm going to try and do this. Right, yet again, I'm starting to do something. I've got absolutely no idea how to do it. First of all, I couldn't decide whether which side needed to be this way into the room. I think the taller side needs to face the room. Now I've got the laser, but I don't really understand. How do I know the laser's straight? First of all, the laser gives me a line on the ceiling, a line on the floor, but how do I know the laser's straight? There isn't, like, where's my starting point? I can't really see any proper right angle in here. I just don't know where the true starting point should be. You know, maybe that's really clear if you're an expert plasterboarder. Anyway, so I'm just going to screw some screws in and see. Because, well, that's what this is all about. Do we think that's straight? Do we think... Without looking at the laser, of course. You don't want to look at the laser, that might hurt your eyes. So you don't want to look at the laser. Without looking directly at the laser, can we find something that's straight in a wonky cabin? Everything's not aligned. And I'm not going to align it with this. Or maybe I do align it with that. Maybe I just align it with the bottom. I don't know. But then I won't have any space to put my... cable. How am I going to get my cable through? Joe seemed to suggest that we were going to screw onto this for the top, so that must mean I screw it to the bottom. Yes, that should work. Just. Okay. Okay, I can take these bits out to put the cable and then I can put them back, so that's fine. So, I'm going to line this up really hard against the bottom of this wall and then try and get a straight edge on the ceiling. Whenever you start doing something new, you sort of think you know what you're going to do, and then when you start, you invariably realise that you don't know what you don't know. So I don't know when I'm starting this what is important. By the time I finish doing the whole cabin, I start putting the plasterboard up, I'll realise, I should have done whatever. But until you've seen something all the way from beginning to end, you just can't imagine how it needs to be. But I don't think there's any other way around it. You've just got to get on with it and make mistakes, make some more mistakes. Well, there you go. It strangely feels like it's leaning out a little bit this way. It doesn't feel completely straight floor to ceiling. But I'm not going to do anything else with it now. I'm going to wait until Joe comes back. My friend Joe's a builder. He's been helping me quite a lot. And he's going to come back. We're going to make the holes in the plasterboard for the cables. And we're going to put the plasterboard on the ceiling. That's the next step. I'm also waiting to hear back from my plumber. I think he might have gone on holiday. I have a feeling he's gone to Guadeloupe. So he's not replying to my messages. I don't think I'll be able to do any plumbing next week. So I just have to wait and see. Otherwise, I've got 2 projects that I'm going to get on and do outside. and that's going to help me just not be frustrated, because I really want to move forward with this, but everything has to happen, everything's got an order, and when you try and skip forward, you're just wasting your time and doubling things up. So I'm going to move on and do a couple of outside projects next week, and hopefully, yeah, by the time I see you again, I'll have made some more progress on this. You'll be able to see the inside of the cabin starting to take shape. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. Thanks for being here with me this week. Drop me a like, send me a little message, say hi, let me know what you're up to and what you think of the progress. And if you've got any tips on plasterboarding, how to make sure your walls don't come out a funny angle, let me know in the comments. I'm really open to learning as much as I possibly can. Look forward to seeing you really, really soon.